Yeah, good evening, everyone. It's me again, your friend, your brother. We are here again to have another time, another time. A very interesting time today. Please, while we just wait for our viewers to come, I want to just press your share button as we wait for others to join us. It's going to be a wonderful time today. It's going to be a very lovely, lovely time. Just press the share button, press the share button while we take our national item.
Ancient city is calling. Oh, arise, sons and daughters of the land. The king of the city is marching.
Please just press your share button.
Stand up high to the pride of the land. The founding fathers of labor, and our time to serve is now. The glory of the new legal nation will forever be our pride. Beautiful and glorious and you're the heartbeat of Nigeria, beautiful and glorious, and stars are singing over you. You're the land people dream to be. Our treasures are found in all nations, and our greatness is second to none. Our history forever shall be written. How our kings have endured all times. Our people, culture, and unity. Our hearts before the land. Rich culture, stories of heroes, legacies forever be. Beautiful and glorious and you're the heartbeat of Nigeria. Beautiful and glorious and stars are singing over you. You're the land people dream to be. Unite and stand with each other. Forgive and let it go. Together we can stand come what may. And the future lies in us. Teach our children to teach their children what our fathers taught. To fear and love the Creator, holy land shall we succeed. Beautiful and glorious and you're the heartbeat of Nigeria. Beautiful and glorious and stars are singing.
Sister Grace Obama, God bless you. My Jane Johnson, my sister, God bless you. Edo Lawrence, God bless you. Thank you very much, man. We appreciate. We appreciate. Yeah. No, he's not going. He's not going to go back. He's not going to go back to PDP, APC. Today there is. He just Lawrence Agadofa, sir. Greet you, sir. There is. He met with President Muhammadu Buhari today, and after the meeting, he had an interview at the State House, and he made it very clear that it would be immoral. That was the language he used. It would be immoral of him to return back to APC. It would be immoral of him to return back to APC. That is just a propaganda machine of the Osage Izeyamu's, failed campaign. They wanted to sell another propaganda in order to discredit, the integrity of Governor Enoras Obaseki, to tag him to be a betrayer and an ingrate. That is it. But thank God for Governor Wike, who is very smart and intelligent. He told them it does not really matter. If Obaseki decides to go back to APC, then that is his choice. But he's not sure Obaseki will do that, having seen the way and manner he was treated. The truth of the matter is this: Obaseki is not a pushover that will just take such a decision to return back to APC when you still have the likes of Yamo and Co, hanging around, the hyenas, the lions and the tigers, the political anacondas, still waiting, for their prey to come in. So it's going to be funny for him to have done that, brother. So I'm not thinking that's going to be possible. He has already cleared the air today. It's on the news. It's on Channels TV that he is not going back to APC. You can't go back to a broom in a rainy season now, brother. This is rainy season. It needs the umbrella. He can't get the broom to cover him when the rain is about to beat him up. It's not going to be possible.
Edo must move forward. Move forward. I will never be. Don't for that is you. Move forward. I will never be.
Clado, I greet you, sir.
Forward never.
Backward never. Obaseki and the man.
We know.
Forward never. Backward never. Shaibu self and the man.
We know. Edo must move forward.
Priso Sato, I greet you.
I will never be.
Kevin Solomon, I salute you.
Move forward.
Backward never. Elsa Francis. Backward never. Obaseki and the man. Forward never. Backward never. Shaibu self and the man.
We know. Edo must move forward. Move forward.
Backward never. Please let's share this video. Not go for that reason. Move forward. Backward never.
They call me Frank. Without production.
Yes. Yes. Good evening, everyone. Before I start, I want to appreciate you guys for the support yesterday. I was so flabbergasted when I checked the program that I did. In less than 1 hour of the program, I found out that on YouTube, not Facebook now, I had over 2,000 views. I was shocked to my bones. I just checked it about 2 hours ago. The view is already close to 6,000 views within 15 hours of that live broadcast. I want to say, you guys, I respect you guys. You guys have actually made my day. I appreciated you. I began to go through all the comments. It was wow. It was wow. Joy Asemota, Obasuyi, Grace Obama, and many of you guys are something else. You made my day. I so much appreciate you guys. There's no words enough for me to show how much it means to me that I actually see people who are actually believing in me. It is sometimes it is a little bit difficult to see people who believes in you when they don't even know you. In a very short while. I have been able to have this mammoth crowd, following me on every social platform that I am involved in. I appreciate you. I saw a video, that I did with one of our sister Precious Omoruyi, and that we had an interview. So we had about, I think she had an interview with about 8 different people, and my video had about 4,000 plus view. The next to my video is about 600. Of all, the next to my video is about 600 views. So you guys have actually made me so much proud that I want to promise you one thing. I will continually stand on the side of truth. I will continually stand on the side of the people. My job is to defend the people with my voice. My job is to tell the people the truth, no matter who I am going to step on their toes. My job is to put the Edo people first before myself or any other one. Because if Edo is good, it will be good for me, it will be good for you, it will be good for those who do not even like what we are doing today. Thank you, guys. God bless you really good. Now, yesterday, I said I was going to begin the Make Edo Great Again seminar. And I expected everyone to be here today to listen. Okay, I will be doing that. I will be doing that. To listen to how Obaseki, please let this video go viral. I want this video to go viral. Let Obaseki get this video before his inauguration. Every video we're going to do today is a way that we can be able to explain better on what Obaseki can be able to do. Guy, say you be good speaker. My chairman, now hard work, we thank God, so that he can be able to get these videos, try to put them down, and maybe be able to get 1 or 2, things from it in building a better Edo state. I know I'm going to come from another perspective today that will not be used. That will not always what is it called? That we are always used to in curbing insecurity in the state. Today, we want to talk about security. How can we secure Edo State? During the campaign time, both parties, both Obaseki and Izeyamu, were always talking about creating manpower to curb insecurity. And why this was going on, I sat and started thinking, how much of manpower do we actually create in Europe to curb insecurity? How many policemen do we actually employ in Europe to curb insecurity? How many vigilante groups do we actually employ in Europe or America to curb insecurity? I can tell you in Sweden where I live, most of the people that live in Sweden knows that. You hardly see a Swedish policeman on the street driving around. It's not very common. I have never seen a Swedish military. I have never seen an air force in Sweden. I have never seen a naval officer in Sweden. For my close to 20 years, 2 decades of being in this country. My question is, how do they now manage to curb insecurity? That's what we're going to look at today. How do they now manage to curb insecurity. Please, I want this video to go viral. And I don't want us to just listen alone. We can actually bring in people who can listen and they can share, and this can go more and more to every part of the state. Now, on my word here, I said, making Edo great again, steps in the right direction. So today's topic is tagged security. So this is the first of the list of every developing or developed countries of the world. Without proper security, no nation can develop. Without proper security, no good nation can develop. How can we make security work in the face of low and unavailable resources at the disposal of the government? Below are true list of how developed countries created average security in their country. The truth of the matter is, there is no country in the world that is 100% secured. 9/11 attack in the US is an act of insecurity. The bombing of the train station in London is an act of insecurity. The bombing of one of the biggest buildings in the city of Stockholm, Sweden, is an act of insecurity. But ability to manage insecurity to a certain level is what really, really matters. Number one, the first thing is to have a database. The first thing is for the government to have a database. So I'm saying this to Abaseki right now. Thank God you already created a very well-equipped, station where you actually used as your situation room during the governorship election that just ended a few days back. All you need to do is just to upgrade those informations on the computer system and create a database. I am very pleased also that you have laid sidebars all over Edo State to speed up the internet connection around the state. That is the right thing to do at this time. And I'm very, very pleased also that you also have already, a database for all the geographical locations within Edo State. Having got this, the next thing the government needs to now do is to now upgrade this database to now be able to meet up with the yearnings and the demand of security. I'm going to explain this very, easy and pure today for us to understand. This the government can do through outright registration of all streets in the state into their geographical plan for the state, and by so doing, mapping the state for effective policing, quick response to crime, and other forms of violence. You hear this right now. Now, today, Edo State streets is not in the map. But the moment the government decide to do it, is easy. It's an easy job. They already had a platform. All they need to do is for the government to go and register every street in Benin City and all other cities, local governments within Edo State, and put them into their database. If you are living at Osapama Street off Ovorame Avenue, GRA Benin City, and your street is not being computerized into the database of the Edo State government, the moment there is a crime in your street and you now decide to call the police, this is what actually curb insecurity. The police will not ask you what is the street name. You not say it is Osapama Street off Overman Avenue, GRA, Benin City. The moment you are saying this on the telephone, the GPS of the police or the security agency that you have just called will just hit at where you are calling from directly in their system. And they already know where Osapama Street is in GRA Benin. Do you know what today? Why it's very difficult when crimes are happening? You call the police, they will have to ask you a lot of questions. Which street? Which area? What are you going to use to describe it? And you now decide to give many descriptions. And before all this are now be done, the perpetrators of the crime had already done with their crime and they have left the scene. So the first thing the government will do in order to curb insecurity is all streets in Edo State should be registered into the Edo geographical plan. All the streets, none should be excluded. Just the way it was some years back before there was a rapid development in Edo State. Then the post office was working. They will get a letter to your streets and they will come there and put it up. Bros, I'm coming now. We need to listen step by step. We're going to come there. We need to do the first thing first. Okay, we need to do the first thing first, then before we go to the next one. Okay? Then you see, post office will come with letter and come and drop it in your house. Because as at that time, so most of these trees were already in the plan of the state government. Number two, we need a constant light. I'm not going to do on that today so much because I also have, a topic for that on how the government can create light, electricity for all. We need a constant light to power our street lights or our, even our houses. Because in the days where we grew up, there was no street light. The light we have was actually our own lights. Because then the light was not as bad as it was now. So every home had, a very big mighty bulb at the front of their compound, which was actually brightened to the street. It also helps in curbing insecurity. Not just that alone. Number three, there should be compulsory documentation of all landed properties. I repeat, there should be compulsory documentations of all landed properties in Edo State. The government should make it compulsory that every landlord, whether it is a residential or a commercial building, must be registered with the Ministry of Land and Survey. It doesn't matter if the house was built in the 30s. As far as the house is on the ground within the geographical location called Edo State, there should be a compulsory documentation. This will cause the government little or nothing. Because when you're going to do a documentation, you present all your documents to the government and you also pay some tokens to make your house to be registered. Having registered all the streets, now you're not registering all the houses on the streets. You get that now? So that means my house, for example, if I have a house, living at Osabama Street, and is tied to my name as the owner of that property. So if maybe I now have a house again in, let's say, Ikpobai area, that house will also be tied to my name because it is my property. Then the government cannot be able to figure out who are those people that actually have a lot of properties within the Benin metropolis and what do they do for a living. Because most of the people, most of the criminals have properties that the government cannot even trace because there is no proper documentation of every landed properties in Edo State. Okay, just follow me little by little. Said complete documentation of all landed property in Edo State, either commercial or residential properties. This can be done via C of O or just ordinary registration of all properties. Every property can now be registered on the name of the first owner. On the name of the first owner, not the tenants. The first owner is the one that actually owns the property, not the occupant of the properties. So, if they go to Ministry of Land and Survey, or they decide to go to the tax office, or any other institution that will be created by the Edo State government to now monitor this process, and the person now says, I live at number 40, Eguayo 7th Street, Uselu Quarters, Benin City. And the moment they type in the name of this person, they will see the owner of the apartment directly. Maybe it belongs to one Mr. Ojo somewhere. Okay. That will actually curb insecurity to a very large extent. As I progress, you're going to get why I'm saying this. Number 4 now. Number 4. When the registration of these properties, with the registration of these properties, the government can now be able to know who owns trust properties within the state, and people with questionable means of livelihood can be caught on time. You will see a 29-year-old guy building a duplex that worth 100 million naira. And if you go a little bit deeper, this very particular guy has no job that he's doing. Because nobody is able to trace, there is no way they can trace all this together. It becomes difficult for the people to actually know who own such properties. There are many properties today in Nigeria that be abandoned. Most of them think maybe the person does not have money again to continue. That's why some of these properties were actually owned by politicians. Some of them were actually owned by criminals who have been killed. And after their demise, nobody actually knew who owns the property. The property will lie there and start creating another havoc in the environment where criminals cannot go in and plan and commit havoc on the entire, environment surrounding where this very particular, abandoned property is being located. So if every home, every house now have such a documentation, the government will not know that Mr. Ojo has over 40 houses in Benin or in Edo State. That Mr. Samuel has 5 houses within Edo State. You not be able to tell. They start looking at what does this guy do. This is what it happens in Europe. If you buy a house, you buy 2 houses, you buy 3 houses. The government actually, when you are buying with cash, they want actually to know what is your source of income. Where do you make the money you use in paying for such properties? It reduces people from committing crimes. And do you also know that if your house is registered, is documented, the street is being registered, then number 5, every property will be tied to the owner. Every property will be tied to the owner. And every tenant living in such property will be under the care of the owner of the property. Every property is being tied to the owner. And every tenant living in your property will be tied to the owner. That is called neighborhood watch. So, if I am going to give my property to a tenant, having known the existing law in the state, I will do everything to find out about this very particular tenant to make sure he does not have any kind of criminal record, knowing fully well he's going to register his name at the tax office under my property name, which is my name. Now, everybody will be tied to the owner, and the tenant will be under the care of the owner at the tax office or Ministry of Land and Survey. This can now help in checking crime, and also will be able to know where everyone lives within the state called Edo. People will be scared in engaging in crime since their identity will be easily be found out, and also their location can be easily located by the place. Do you know what makes someone to commit crime in Europe? It's fear that will be caught. Not because We are different. Many of us were armed robbers in Nigeria, but we left. Many of us were armed robbers, we were criminals in Nigeria before we left. But when we got to Europe, we had to hide our pocket because why? Our identity is not hidden. We are just like a lamp put on top of the hills that can never be hidden from the people. So because of that, we need to keep whatever we are doing in order for us not to fall into the long arm of the law. We try to avoid anything that will give us problem. Not that tendency to commit crime is not still in us, but the fear of us being caught is what is making us to be careful of what we do. Every human being had a tendency to commit crime. The government, the law being put in place makes crime to be reduced to the barest minimum. They talk about so much money being spent. When there is no proper law, you spend money that will not be workable. So when a man knows that I am living in your house, and you have all this being put in place, and you refuse to follow it, you're going to be in trouble. How will this work? How will Tenant follow this? Let me come there. I'm coming there. I'm going to explain that to you as I go on. So just follow me step by step, please. We want to help John Obaseki to make Edo great again. Number 5. My sister Lady Ben asked me, said, how will this work in Nigeria? My brother says, Osage said, will corrupt civil servants and politicians in the state allow it? They don't have a choice if the government decide to do what I just said. Number 5. Since there is already a database that captured the entire streets in Edo State, since there is already a database that captured all the properties and the property owners in Edo State, since there is already a database that captured all the tenants living in these properties within Edo State, then the Edo State government cannot create what we call personal identification number. Now, this personal identification number will be created automatically by the system, just the way the BVN is being created. Every Edo citizen, everyone who lives in Edo, as far as you reside in Edo State, you'll be compelled if we say, what if the owner of the house not living? Yes, but you must register the house in your name. It doesn't matter whether you live there or not, you own the house. You can go back to Benin and register the house in your name and get the personal identification number in Edo State because you have a property there. Therefore, you are a citizen or an indigene of the state. Doesn't matter whether you are Hausa, Yoruba, Igbo. As far as you have a property in Edo State, you must go and get the personal identification number. What the government will be using in identifying you and your properties. And everyone also residing in Edo State, now, whether you are an Edo citizen or not, as far as you live in Edo, you work in Edo, you must also get a personal identification number. When this is done, When this is done, now the street is already captured. The properties is already captured. The owners of the properties are already captured. The tenants living in the property are already captured. Then the identity of the owners and the tenants of the property is already captured. So therefore, it is very, very difficult for crimes to escalate. Rather, there will be a reduction in the level of crime. That's the truth. Because everyone will be afraid. You, the landlord who's going to give out your house, must also check the man that is coming to carry your house. Because the man had an identification number. And do you know that if I, for example, commit crime in Bobauka local government, it will be attached to my name that Stephen did this crime. And he also had, maybe 6 years or 6 months or 6 days or 1 week, sentence to the prison. It will be attached to my file, which is only visible, not to everybody, but to the police and to those that work within the tax office or the Ministry of Land and Survey, depending on who the government will give this very particular job to. So if I now move from Ipobaoka, now I now move to Oredo to come and start saying, then if I want to rent a house from a landlord in Oredo, then I will be given a form to fill where I will put my personal identification number for checking. For checking. Then I cannot call, or the owner cannot call the whoever that's involved, neither the tax office or the Ministry of Land and Survey, to actually find out my background. And if I am clean, it will give me the house. So therefore, because I will not want to stay on the streets of Benin, I will therefore mind my business, stay out of crime, and stay out of trouble. Because I know any mistake I make will be my downfall as far as my life within Edo State is concerned. You see, many of the armed robbers will run away from Edo and go to another state to go and stay. I'm telling you. Okay, so this number can be called personal identification number, which can be shared with the police and other security agency when a crime is being committed and the suspect has been caught. This also can give rise to electronic matching of people's fingerprint and other things to get criminal caught on time. And the fear of being caught will reduce the rate of increase in crime. The fear of being caught will increase the reduction in crime. Fact of the matter. Share this video. Let Governor Obaseki see it. Number 7. The state should build a modern accommodation for the less privileged. The state should build a modern accommodations for the less privileged in their society, particularly those who do not have a home as a result of the death of parents, etc. Because one of the greatest problems we have today is these guys who are on the streets. That is where criminals are being breeded. If you go to Ring Road area, you're going to see a lot of people. It's not, boy, it's not going to be difficult. If the governor wants to do it, he can bring people like us to the board and bring some very, well-articulated IT, professionals, and also bring people from the Ministry of Land and Survey and bring people from the tax office, that I can be able to deliver this to them vis-a-vis what I know, and they cannot put this thing into workable means based on their area of specialization and understanding of the terrain, which I might not be so good at when it comes to documentation in the tax office, for example, or the documentation of lands and property in the Ministry of Land and Survey. But having given them such a brilliant and a workable idea that costs the government little or nothing, it will be easy for them to carry out such an idea and make the state an hub where insecurity will become the matter of the past. Okay? Now, one thing is this: if they can be able to help these people to be able to stay off the street, this is what the government is going to do. That was the idea John Sagi wanted to play. But because John Sagi was money conscious, he lost focus. Many of us actually started supporting John Sagi when he picked up those guys from the streets. Now, we're so impressed when he picked those guys from the street and give them a home and began to cater for them and all that and that. And some of us began to send him money just to support him, in trying to reduce crime rate in the Strait of Benin. It's the same thing. This time the government will take over. This is what is applicable in the developed world. There are homeless homes in Sweden. There are homeless homes in many developed countries. When they take some of these homeless people and go and put them in there, and the government cater for them. And for example, if you pick up a child of, let's say, 7 years old, and the child has a father and a mother still alive, and the child asks you, I am on the street because my father could not take care of me, the government can actually go to the father, having have his identity, having have where he lives, whether it's a tenant or a landlord, and all these other things that have already atomized in the other 6 places. The father can be arrested for negligence. For negligence. Yeah. For there to be a sane society, street laws need to be followed. Not be by talk to say Africa want to be like Europe. What we pass through in Europe, you and I know that laws is what is keeping us from going out of place. How do you think you've been abroad? You've been abroad for many, many years. And you've never committed a crime. The day you reach Nigeria, you go drive, you go beat a traffic light for Nigeria. But abroad, even 10 meters to where traffic light there, you don't already stop. You just reach Nigeria the same day, you go beat, say you did in haste, you go beat traffic light, wrong, come out. It is because there is no proper documentation. You feel nothing there. So if I even commit the crime, no matter, who know where they stay said, who go free cash me. But when this is being put in place, it will reduce even death rate. Accident will be reduced because people will have to drive carefully. Okay. So any child found on the street should be arrested and taken to the government home. And if it can be traced to his parent due to the system that has been put in place, such a parent can be arrested for child abuse and be made to face some severe punishment. And that child can be taken away from him or her and be put under the care of the government. This sort of action will reduce the breeding of criminals in the city of Benin and Edo State in general. Okay. Number 8. Kevin Binosa say it is possible, but the police will never agree because no kickback for them. That's what we want to stop. That is why you guys must join me on this crusade of making Edo great again. This is a crusade we just started. This is a revolution that we are just about to begin. If this are being put in place, then the possibility of us making things work in Africa will become possible. Thank you, ma, because there is no law in Africa. That's what I'm saying now. We will begin to start putting, a state needs to start it. We keep godfatherism. We said our vote must count. We defended our vote. We can also defend this and make this workable. Number 8. I think that's number 8 now. Number 8. Every car in Benin, the owner residing in Benin, should be registered at the licensing office. And also an office should be created within the Edo State Tax and Revenue Generating Office to capture cars in Edo State to their already database, so that cars can't be used to commit crime anymore. When an Edo security outfit catch a car in information, they can just call the office involved and give the car number or the name of the driver to them or the personal identification number, and every information about the man will be given. And the police can then know if he is the criminal or the car belongs to him. Simple. It's as easy as that. The moment every cars are not being captured, also, that's another part we need to think of. Today, we drive on the street of Benin. Most cases, it does not even have anything. There should be a mandatory registration of all the cars in Edo State. That the moment they take your car number, just your car number, they know your house. The moment, do you know, most of the time we say we have hit and run. Have you ever seen of hit and run in Europe or in America? The moment they pick your car number, that's just the end for you. For hitting and running is a crime. For hitting the person is a crime. For running away from the scene of the accident is another crime. So having known that if you run, they will catch you, will you not just wait and face the punishment once and for all? Or you drive yourself to the police station and make a report. I just jammed somebody now. I have to run away because I don't want to be mobbed by the public. So running away, allowing the person who you have been able to save to die because you decided to run away. Also, when you are driving a car and they said someone's car has been stolen. And instead of pick a car from Benin, while you were driving out of Benin to another part of the nation, you were caught on the border, which I'm going to explain later. And based on the suspect, or based on the information they've already gotten, every car will not be traced. Maybe they will not say, okay, there was an ML 350 that was stolen. Black in color. Blah, blah. They give all the details. They give the plate number. Maybe you decide to remove the plate number of the car because it was a stolen car. You now put in a number that is not registered. Okay? Now, the moment you drive the car to the border where you are about exiting Edo State into another state, and the security outfit there who are on duty, they've already gotten such, an information, decide to stop you. And they check the number, it was not the same number. They now decide to collect your, identification number, or they collected your driving license, and they put your name into their data. And what came out was the plate number of the car you are carrying does not match with the car that the plate number is on. Yeah. So you are driving an a Mercedes-Benz ML 350, and the plate number of the car that was registered to that plate number, maybe it's a Toyota Camry 2006. Then you will be stopped immediately to explain why an ML 350 it has a plate number registration of a Toyota Camry. This can also make many people to stop snatching cars because they can't sell it anymore. Okay. Number 9. So this will also reduce the hit and run accident in Edo State because your car number will be picked up and traced to your home. Then every person will become law abiding. It is only laws that can make Africa to act like normal human beings. When there is no law, everything will become useless. Thank you. That's how you change firearm too. So laws are very important that we must put in place. So we talk about security every day. Say I'm going to carry vigilante. The vigilante will become the criminals tomorrow. If there is nothing to hold them to, they'll become the armed robbers tomorrow. But the moment you are able to put some of these laws are just atomized into place, things will become workable in the state called Edo State. Number 10. On visiting persons to Edo State, on visitors or visiting persons to Edo State, a toll gate should be built on all the entrances and exits of Edo State. A toll gate will be built on all the entrance and exits of Edo State to monitor who comes in and who goes out. Every visitor that is not of Edo State will be given a temporary personal identification number when coming into the state to spend more than a certain period of time according to the Edo State government law. You might say, okay, if you are coming in, we're going to give you a temporary number for 7 days to come into Edo. They're going to give you, maybe they're going to tell them, okay, I am staying maybe 3 months in Edo State. They're going to give you a temporary number for 3 months. Okay. You can go out with the 3 months and you can come in within that 3 months. But the moment you decided to spend more than 3 months inside Edo State, then you just committed a crime. If you actually want a better Edo, a better Nigeria, a better Africa, we should start thinking outside the box. Every visitor that is not of Edo State will be given a temporary personal identification number when coming to the state to spend more than a certain period in Edo State. And his or her information will be taken and kept until when he or she will be leaving the state. If he stays more than the time he told the guys at the toll gate, he will be given a fine or banned from coming into Edo State for a certain period of time. This can be done with an executive order, Mr. Imotinya Emi. This can be done with an executive order. Yeah, this can be done with an executive order. If you don't know your power, this is what Donald Trump was doing. This is what Buhari does. It comes with an executive order to make this work. Because there's already a BVN under the law. It is just for the governor to make an executive order, making the BVN a compulsory identification number for everyone, whether you have a bank account or not. That's it. And under the government, it will just start working. Number 11, transporters will be advised. Transporters will be advised to give their passengers form from the ministry to fill and submit while they are about to board their buses to Benin or to Edo State. Their exact locations when they get to Benin, and since all the houses in Benin are now under a database, it will become easy to trace such a one. You know how difficult it is? Because I might have a house, you don't even know you don't have the house. So you cannot say, I live at number 4 Overame Street. Who is the owner? Care of who? You're going to stay with there. I don't know. Then you can't go. You know, there are little things we put in that will bring sanity to the entire state. Let me shock you. Do you know something? When Delta State locked their border during the COVID-19, I don't say open their border. Am I correct? After a while, I don't say lock their border. I don't say lock their border. You see, each state started locking their borders because one state started it. If Governor Obaseki can take up this initiative, and I'm telling you, the Delta State government will start with it. The Ondo government will start with it. The Kogi government will start with it. Before you know what's happening, this whole thing will go around the nation, Nigeria. If you and I will decide to say, this is what we want, we'll be able to achieve it in a very short period of time. Nothing is impossible. We thought we can't defeat Oshomole. We thought we can't defeat Captain Osa and his billions. We thought we can defeat the influence of Ahmed Bola Tinubu. We thought we can defeat the likes of Tony Kabaka and the Tigers and the Lions. We thought we can defeat Henry Darbon, Pius Odubu, Chris Ogemoyi, Charles Ariare, and many others who were actually fighting against the interest of the common Edo man. But today, history has proven that with the collective determination of the people, nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible. It's just for us to believe that we can. This is what Martin Luther King says. All you need to think is, I can. There is nothing that is not achievable in life. It is your determination, your mindset. How do you see it to be? How possible can it be? Thank you, Sister Mercy. That's it. There's nothing impossible. It is for you to believe we can. We can propagate this. We can propagate this and make it possible. Number 12. Because of all this I've just said now, none of our children we want to openly indulge in cultism anymore. None of them. Because they know the consequences of their actions. Because they will be traceable. They will be traceable. But every parent will start telling their children, please not put me for wahala. Because as at this point in time, everybody now is a policeman. You cannot be able to control people around your house. When you now have a tenant who actually do not come on all time, and you are not too sure of the kind of life he's living, you start calling him, Oga, what do you do for a living? Because this is your waka, not like him. Not gonna put me for trouble. Knowing fully well that the government can trace him. Yeah, that's what James. That's what I say now. That's why we are here. We can help the government to put it across if they want it. Like I said, I am not interested, I'm saying it again, in being part of Obaseki government. I do not want any political position from anybody. I am just on the side of the people. What I am saying today, I'm doing now, is to have a better idea whereby I can go home and use the little resources I have saved in my sojourning in Europe to better my life, the life of my extended family, and people that are going to be around me, which I'm going to employ by the creation of job I'm going to do. That's all I'm up for. If the government wants us to support him on this, she call us to a round table. The government does not even need to bring us to Edo State to come and stay in Edo. All the government needs to do is just to create a diaspora, committee where we can hold Zoom meetings every week or twice in a month, maybe every quarter, every 4 months. We cannot go to Nigeria, go to Edo State, and meet with the governor and his team to atomize, to explain to them all we have been doing, how workable it's going to be. We can be on ground for 1 month. We can be on ground for 2 weeks, depending on how fast they've been able to, understand what we are presenting before them. We can sit together with them, see how these things have been done. And if it's going to take them a year, we return back to our base after we have had a meeting with them. We continue with our strategies. Then when the time comes again, we return back to see how far they've gone. That is all we need. Many of us do not want to get involved in the government, day-to-day running, but want to get involved in making the dough a better place for all. Okay? Number 13. The government should also portion out all the lands. All the lands. This is what we are not doing. All the lands in Edo State, even the ones in the remote villages, and map them out based on the plan they have for them, and tell the communities involved which to sell and which is for the use of the government. So, there was a time in this country when I wanted to build a house. I wanted to build a house here in Sweden. And while I was doing that, I went to the local government where I was living here. We call it commune. And I applied. And they took me to a portion of land. Because here, the area you build what we call villas. Villas is just more like the one we call duplex in Nigeria. And the areas where they build, big houses, the one they call palazzo in Italy. So we don't build palazzos because you don't build palazzo. Palazzos, you buy apartment within palazzos, but you can buy land to build your own villa. What surprised me was this: the land when they took me to that land, I said, "Yeah, this is nice." Do you know that land have a street? Do you know that land has an house number? That very particular land has a street name on it. I'm telling you, this is not a developed area. That land has a street. That land has an house number. Already a land. And I said, wow. I was like, this is serious. And I went to the office. I said, oh, there's already a number. He said, yeah. He said, every land in Sweden, whether built or not built, are being mapped out either for government purposes, for farming, or for residential. So you cannot just go build a house anywhere. This is the result of the massive erosion you've seen in Benin, in particular today. Because some of the lands where we build our houses are actually natural waterways. Because the land and survey was not actually involved when the community leaders were selling those lands. They sold the land, they just did the road by themselves. They put up the road without actually getting the Ministry of Land Survey involved, in order for them to know the geographical mapping of the land and how they can sell the land, divide the land in a way for them to have a free flow. That is the problem. So if some of these things have been done, some of these things we are talking about today, there will be a reduction of them. So I want to invite the government to also portion out the land in such a manner. There should also be what we call, when you are doing your personal identification number, you must use fingerprint. Now they should use the 10 fingerprints, not 5. Use the 10. Use the 10 fingerprints. So you can't escape it. And do you know maybe you go and rob and you were hitting my door Bo. You know, most of the time when this Amoba, when they finish robbing, they will leave the ass they use in robbing. Maybe the cutlass they use, they will leave it. Or when they are using, they'll be touching everywhere. Now, these things can be traceable to them through fingerprinting and mismatching of identities. So when people now understand that there is a lot of technology in place to not catch crimes, you will see crime will just begin to fade away with little or no running of the police after us. This is simple. This is easy. So when a man decides to buy a land to build a house, he would just go to the land and survey to be sure that the portion he bought is a residential plot or not. This can also make every developer to do their house plan and approval with a CFO, which can be reduced as low as 60K in all. You see, if the government will start making money easily, so nobody build a house now without not first going to check if the land is buying is actually for residential or for commercial, or even the land is for farming. I said, note in conclusion, trying to secure the state now, the government would have created jobs. You see that now? The government would have created jobs. One is securing the state, two is creating job, and three, the government would have been able to create revenue for the state. So this whole idea is a 3-in-1 idea for the government. Trying to secure the state, the government would have created jobs and revenue from the registration of all the houses, from offenders, from tollgate, and above all, when there is security of life and property, the security vote will be reduced to the barest minimum. Because when Pastor Ejemo was talking about, everything Pastor Ejemo was talking about was security votes. So if this is not being done, maybe the security vote will be reduced from 700 million, maybe to 200 million. So 500,000 now will be used in helping to build homes for the less privileged, in helping to take care of the less privileged, in helping to pay the workers that will carry out these, tedious tasks without the government overstressing its revenue and its financial capability. So you will see that the system itself will create the money that will be used in providing for the people, or the equipment that will be used will be gotten from the money that will be generated, either from the security vote, down to the CFO, down to the registration, down to the toll gate, down to the offenders, and everything will start working perfectly well. Then Edo State will not be in the path of making Edo great again. Thank you, guys. Now I'm going to give in 11 minutes. Please, if you are talking, you only have 3 minutes. After 3 minutes, I'm going to put you off. 3 minutes, everybody. 3 minutes is done. I'm going to tell you 30 seconds, sir. You need to round off. If you don't round off, I'm going to cut the phone. And I'm going to allow only WhatsApp. Only WhatsApp. And the WhatsApp number is +46. You can pick your pen and write. +46 73 +46 73 957 1107 +46 73 957-1107. Thank you, guys. Yes, hello. Hello. Yeah, hello, please. Your contribution, please.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you for this new initiative. Fine, it's going to materialize, but I would have loved we those in diaspora. We should come together. That you see this point you just made.
Yeah, hello.
To present it for them the way it will work out for them. So I will love if you can put it into documentation so that when we are making a presentation like slides, because when you are presenting a project, you present it the way your the people who want to buy the ideas so that they will get the value of what you are presenting. It's a very good and magnificent idea. It's just like a proposal. So we put it into Gazette. Then we can invite some of the governors. We could write to the governor that we have some support we want to render. That these are the projects. Then in Europe here we live, we know a lot of companies does all these things. So we can help the government to negotiate this contract. They sign an MOU, they go to Nigeria and put implementation. Brilliant, you know. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So that is just that. Any contribution, please. Let's just shoot on. Yeah, any contribution, please. Yesterday was wonderful. I must appreciate you guys. Yesterday was something different. You guys made my day. God bless you guys. Any contribution, please? More in. Anybody want to throw light on what we just said now? How we can make Edo great again. That's one of the things we need to start putting up now. How we can make Edo great again. Okay, guys, if there is no more until on Monday, not tomorrow, not yeah, it's a means of creating job, Lady Ben. That's my take. Everything we're going to do is to create job. We try to create protection, then jobs will be created, and the revenue to pay for these workers will not be between in between the process that we put in place by the government. This thing will also stop unnecessary crime, whether cyber crime, financial crime, or whatever. I'm telling you, things will start working. Yes, hello. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, hello. Continue.
Oh yeah. I just want to thank you for what you're doing. Really inspire me. For that thing, we try to be a journalist. Just have important and for some Tenant and other guys that are in workshops in Nigeria. We really inspire me to say that. And there are some things we are putting together here. Once we are finished, we'll get back to you too. All these things you analyze, they have been following. It is also in my mind, and we have to push for that. I've said it, the reason why probably got all of us down to this place. It's not just to make it work. I think God has planned all these things so that the experience we have it, we can bring it out to Nigeria to lift them up. The problem in Nigeria is this. Many of them are not educated. Some of them are not exposed. So the experience you have now, the experience I have now, and those scattered all over the world. How was the experience? We gather it together, coming together, and help the government that is power. I think Nigeria, Benin, Edo will be paid, and Nigeria will be paid. Look at what happened right now in this election. Is it not wonderful? And people are copying already. So I want us to continue this way, and all these things you are liking here. We shouldn't just keep it in our data. We should try to make sure that the government has our advantage have this material so that we can put it into use. This is my contribution, and I just want to encourage you to continue. Once I'm very busy, as I said, I will get back to you. That will be to stop. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you very much, bro. What is it? Foreplay. We're going to talk about electricity, in my next video. We're going to talk about electricity by Monday, because I'm going to be coming out on Monday again. It's going to be the same time. I'm not just coming. I will just come at the same time, 5 o'clock, European time. Do I go to how can we make electricity workable in Nigeria? Yeah, these are things that we're going to put before the government. Then it's going to be clear and easy, with little or no financial burden on the government. That is my major concern. That's my major concern. We're going to talk about electricity. How can we make the entire state be electrified within 4 years? It is possible. If you believe you can do it, you can do it. When I came to Europe, oh, bros, when I came to Europe, many people said Europe not easy. I told them, I can. I can. I'm not a lawyer. I didn't read anything in English. But when I came in here, this language is not even English, it's Swedish. But within 2 years, I understood how the immigration system works in Sweden. I became an advisor to most Nigerians here in Sweden. When they have a case, they have a problem, they come to me and I give them advices. And the advice were always workable. The reason why I don't just sit down, I go deep to find out everything that I need to know about the system where I live in. Making a door to become the hub. I'm still in Sweden. I still live in Sweden. Making a door to become the hub of everything. It is possible if the government can just listen to some of us. It is possible. If you believe in us, foreplay, don't worry. Now Monday, come back here. Sister Grace, that's what they call me. Say I'm a lawyer because the man tire for me. The man tire, when you are dealing with a guy who is so eloquent and and because me, I love talking. I am an extrovert. Okay, talking is an hobby. From my childhood days, most of my friends that we went to secondary school together are here. They know me very well. Like while we were in school, I was one hell of a guy who you can't beat in a debate. It's not possible. Because I find a way to come around. Foreplay, don't worry. I'm telling you, by Monday, when you come in here, you're going to get fat and figures. That's why when we are coming, we shouldn't come alone, so that we can be able to share this whole idea to everyone. How are we going to electrify Edo State? You can help because you live in Europe. I can help. Because you know what problem we have in Nigeria today? Everybody is on water. Don't call it hydropower. Am I correct? Am I correct? Everything is on hydropower. Then the next thing they talk about is gas, which now they are not trying. Now that's about is that starting with the gas now. But do you know, after these two, there are other three natural means in which you can generate electricity. Yeah, Emmanuel, that's why I talk about electricity for, because that's the most important thing. The natural electricity will not have the light. So I'm going to try, special people with the little knowledge I have, to break down this that is workable. And even if possible, we're going to break it to a level that the government will have no interest. We have no other option than to key in, having bring in the investors to do the job for us. These are things that are workable, they are easy. I remember I went home for only 1 month. I used 250,000 naira to buy fuel to run my generator for 1 month. 250,000 naira to run my generator for 1 month. Okay? So, let me not go there, because if I go there now, they will not go to end for today. We will discuss that the moment we meet on Monday. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate you guys. Okay, Mr. Bramani said I'm a lawyer. That's a good one. Said the government should give me Attorney General. No, they won't fight him. They won't fight him. They won't fight him. This will be so easy that they have no choice. We're going to talk about it tomorrow. You're going to see how workable it is. Okay? Thank you, guys. I appreciate you. Until we see you again on Monday. Have a nice day.
Edo must move forward. Move forward. I could never. Move forward. I could never.
I'm not a lawyer, so I'm not a lawyer.
Forward ever. I could never.
Janet, make a serious now. I'm gonna give it me a rest now. Okay. I wanted to have some. I want to have some time off tomorrow, so I can still rest and sleep a little bit. That's why I put it on Monday. So at least, okay, maybe tomorrow we come outside tomorrow. I come out tomorrow. Okay, we'll do that tomorrow. We'll talk about the electricity tomorrow, 5 p.m. I'm going to put that, what's it called? I'm going to put that an advert for that immediately. I'm done here now. So we'll put it up tomorrow, 5 p.m. So we'll discuss about the electricity issues. So Janet, you've won now. You've won now, okay? You won now. So you don't win now. You don't win me now. God bless you guys. We'll put it up tomorrow so we can discuss it and make Edo great again. Thank you guys. I love you guys. God bless you. Sister Grace Obama, thank you very much, man. I appreciate you.
Edo must move forward. Move forward. I could never. Move forward. I could never. Forward ever. I could never. We know forward ever. I could never. Shall self not demand. We know Edo must move forward. Move forward. I could never. Godfather is move forward. I could never. Forward ever. Backward never. Basekina demand. We know forward ever. Backward never. Shahibu self na demand. We know Edo must move forward. Move forward. Backward never. Yo.